Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to the 2350 Effect. Meet the Presenter Week. This is day number 5. I am your co-host, collaborator, Damian Kinsey. And as always, I am joined by Dr. Farron. Dr. Farron, introduce yourself and explain what you do to so many people.
Hey everyone, great to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us for day 5 of Meet the Presenter Night. I am the owner and CEO of Creative Living Ideas, as well as co-creator of this event, the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit with Damian, as well as the 2350 Network and the 2350 Effect Show that we host usually just on Sundays. But we've been rolling out our presenters as we are approaching the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit starting next Friday. So we're super excited to introduce to you some incredible people. And if you haven't seen this week, and this is your first time popping in, go back into our feed, dig into our feed, and look at the other Meet the Presenters. Go to Creative Living Ideas YouTube channel, check out the Meet the Presenter Nights. You're going to find some amazing people. And then join us at the event.
Yes, and those amazing people out there, we only know you're amazing. You're out there because you let us know. Please drop your name in there so we can shout you out. And thank you for coming and joining us as well. Tonight is definitely another jam-packed night full of guest individuals. So It's just no different. 5 straight days of pack time. All right. So Dr. Farron, you want to introduce our first guest? Our first guest has been on majority of the summit. She has been at the first Work-Life Balance Summit. You want to introduce her?
Yes, I would love to introduce Deanna Pelly. She was actually one of my very first people that I brought along to the very first Work-Life Balance Summit. And she was recommended to me by a good friend. I called Deanna on the phone. We chatted. It was just, hit it off on the same page with a lot of things. It was great. And you know what? I was mesmerized in her presentation. I think a lot of us would say that. She does an incredible job just kind of drawing you into her topic. And thank you for being with us again. And I know some of the other dates that we haven't worked out. So I'm thrilled that this one has worked out. So thank you for joining us again.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited that this fall works out. I love the fall. And so it's fun to have a lot of things to look forward to. And I look forward to the summit a lot. And I'm so excited to be a part of it this time around. I'm so glad it worked.
Yes, me too. Mm-hmm. Me too. And you probably recognize some of the other people that we'll be bringing up, right? That you've been with. So she started with us in 2023 when we had the very first event. So who else do we have backstage, Damian?
Hey, we have Joy who's backstage. Joy has been with us on a few summits. She is bringing the joy, bringing the love. She coaches. She does so many things with event planning. And Joy, welcome back to the summit. And thank you for joining us, Joy Dawson.
So good to be here. I'm so excited. Working with you guys is super easy. And what we all learn together is phenomenal. So really glad to be here.
Well, thank you. I love that compliment. I'm going to accept that. Thank you very much. All right. So who else do we have? Again, it's like behind the next curtain, behind the next curtain. Who's next?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a time to take a breath on this one. So if you know who the next guest is, you know that makes every sense. She does the breath work coaching. She wants you to live your best, and she wants you to take time to yourself to meditate, think, reflect, and get out of those limited beliefs and stop blocking yourself. Please welcome Brenda Leese to the summit again. Meet the Presenter Week. You've been a few of them. Welcome back.
Oh yes, I couldn't unmute myself. Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm still laughing on the way you introduced me. Yeah, let's take all our breath together. I'm just kidding, but we can.
That was very clever. I would have to agree. Very clever.
Very clever.
I'm working today. I'm trying to get informed. Again, those people out there, please drop in, share, comments, and share this with other people out there who will definitely benefit from this, because we are definitely going to have a fun, packed conversation. And if you've been with us the last 4 nights, you know that this thing is going really quick, but it's also been fun and interactive. Dr. Farron, you want to take the first question?
Yes, I love the first question. I love the first question. I absolutely do. And those of you in the audience that have been with us, the last few nights, you can add the same response or add a new response in. It doesn't matter to us. But if you could tune in and work from anywhere in the world, where would you choose to tune in virtually? Anywhere in the world. And anybody, Brenda Lees, you're unmuted. Would you like to go first?
Of course. Like, why not? Okay, so for me right now, where I would love to be working from is from Puerto Rico, from a beach at Puerto Rico. If I could, I would be there anytime.
That sounds amazing. I've not been there before, but I know that you call that home, and
it's home. It's where family is. Yes, for sure.
Yes. I hear it's stunning though. My daughter took a trip there and she said it's just beautiful. Absolutely. Yep. How about you, Deanna? Anywhere in the world, where would you tune in from?
Anywhere in the world, I would choose the Pacific Northwest. I'd choose somewhere in Washington, in the mountains, surrounded by a river and the mountains, and a moody gray day. I actually love those days, and I love the Pacific Northwest. Those forests are just beautiful. So that's where I'd tune in from, and I'd have huge windows so I could just look outside all day.
Oh, that does sound beautiful. It sounds very beautiful. How about you, Joy?
I would like to say, not necessarily a specific, I thought about this. I was like, I love Italy, but really, I just want to travel all around to the beaches. So just get me some water. Just make sure that there's no background noise. So if I'm Zooming or doing anything else, that nobody else hears the wind. I can just be in sand in my toes and computer in hand, Wi-Fi works, all of the good things, but from a beach.
Yes. I feel your vibe. I am feeling your vibe. How about you, Davian?
Yeah, before I answer that, I'll have to do one housekeeping thing. Yes, this is Meet the Presenter Week, and the presenters of we do the virtual wellness summits, but this is the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit, which is taking place next week on the 3rd and the 4th. And you can get your tickets at Creative Living Ideas. Go to YouTube page, go to the page and go to the event for the event, or you can go to the Eventbrite and put in work-life balance, and it's across the screen. And to answer that question, I am tuning in from where I want to tune in from, which is home, which is New York City. So I am grateful and living in gratitude of the space and the things that I have now.
I love that. You do have a beautiful setting. I don't blame you for that either. I love New York. I've been there a few times, but I'm going to select a different place. I'm kind of like Joy. I could tune in from anywhere. You say, Tanya, let's go here. All right, let's go. You want to go here? Let's go. Okay. But I would love to tune in from, you guys are going to have to, from like Belize, where they have those little huts out on the water and that crystal blue water underneath you. Oh, that's where I want to tune in from, right there. I think that sounds incredible. Why not? I mean, we get to pick, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a good one. Definitely closing out Meet the Presenter week. That you picked something that's beautiful and fun. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel bad about that. You can tune in from wherever you want. You know, it's your pick.
That's right.
And speaking of don't feel bad, what is your guilty pleasure that you have right now currently? It could be a television show, it could be a podcast, it could be a snack, and it also could be something for health, fitness, whatever you want, work-life balance. It could be anything. It could be clothing, anything you want. What is that one thing that you right now are going on as a guilty pleasure? I see Deanna rolling. I see her thinking a deep thought. Joy is there with the head nod. Joy, I'm going to go with you. It seems like you got something already up your sleeve.
Yeah, when I was thinking about this, I'm not a huge TV person. I bounce around a podcast, so it's not just one all the time. And so I would say that for me, the guilty pleasure is playing solitaire Clash on my phone. Like, it's a good deterrent. Something that probably nobody would even think about, but it's a really good deterrent for me. So it's not social media. It's not any of the other stuff. It's let me play a game of solitaire on my phone real quick.
I definitely like that. You know,
Yeah.
a few years ago, I would have been right along with you. I can definitely relate to that one. It's definitely a fun, relaxing game. It takes quick time. Brittany Lee, what about you? What's going on with you? What's your thoughts? What is your
when I was thinking of the response, the first thing that came into my mind was going outside and barefoot. I love going out. That's my guilty pleasure, going outside and being barefoot. But then Joyce mentioned the games, and I'm like, okay, I guess games could be a big one for me right now. So I would say probably even bigger than the other one, the King Royal Match. So that one is, yeah. Anyway.
That's a good one. Deanna, how about you? We got a game theme going on. Are you going to go 3 for 3?
You know, like one of my guilty pleasures, it's a TV show that I go back to that's like a comfort show for me. When I was in junior high and high school, religiously, I watched ER. And it was like, I'm not even kidding, the longest week of my life was the week when Carter and Lucy were stabbed, and like, what's going to happen the next episode? I loved that show, and I particularly go back to the episodes that I watched most consistently when I was in junior high and high school, and I still go back to that show.
Deanna, I'm not gonna lie to you, that is one of my all-time favorite shows. I have the box set. I have every last DVD. I got it for Christmas that year, and I still have it. It is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Such a good show.
So you were saying
such a good show.
Back. Yeah.
Such a great show. I agree.
What about you, Dr. Farron?
Well, I'm gonna just say, you know, I don't do this often, but I'm down at my lake house now, and this is what I do here when I'm by myself. I will guilty pleasure. I'll find some reality show of some kind, and I will binge it till midnight, 12:30 to force myself to bed. I'm normally a go to bed at 9 o'clock kind of gal. I don't stay up late. So to me, like, and I'm sitting here going, what am I doing? I'll sit there by myself like, what am I doing? I never do this. Okay, I'm going to watch one more, and then I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to watch one more, and then I'm going to go to bed. So I don't know. That's probably it.
And how do you stop? Like, does your body just say it's
I probably
time
doze
over?
off and say, get up, Tanya, and go to bed, go up the stairs and go to bed.
Yeah. I'm with you. That happens to me sometimes as well.
I know.
Yeah. Deanna, you're gonna make me watch ER. I'm going with ER right now.
You know what? I could go back.
I've been thinking about it though before this, so it's a sign. So
you have said that before, that is a show that you've liked. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it sounded like to me, I don't want to, go too far off of this topic, but a good question we could have probably asked is, what's a good escape for you? Because it sounds like some of these gamified things were a little escapey. Like not in a bad way, but like sometimes you just want to escape from life for a little bit and just stop the brain and just kind of do a little mindless or think about something else, which I think is actually pretty healthy for your brain, especially if you're hyper focusing on something, just a little escape away, and I think that that's always a good thing too. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a question for the experience. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to kind of skip around and ask you this question about balance in life. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice about balance in your life, what would that one piece of advice be? Deanna, I'm going to say, are you ready?
Yeah, I am ready actually. And that would be the word pause is what came to mind. And it would be pausing before I give an answer to something. I have a tendency to overwork and overcommit and have always kind of had that tendency, but it would just be to pause and maybe just say, I'm going to think about that, or let me get back to you on that. And I don't think it was until within the last maybe 5 years that I actually knew I could do that, that came to me that I could do that. And it's helped me a lot in having balance. And I wish I would have known that a long time ago.
That is a great piece of advice. Great piece of advice. How about you, Brenda-Lise? What is something that you wish you could tell your younger self?
I wish when I was younger, I wouldn't have felt that I needed to earn my rest, because you don't. Rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. And slowing down is not weakness, it's not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, slowing down allows you to tap into wisdom, into creativity. It helps you recharge. So yeah, that one.
I love that one. It's so true, right? I was talking about that one morning this last week about that, about being sick as a mom. My kids for the longest time never knew when I was sick because I just kept going until all of a sudden I just collapsed and said, I can't do anymore, and, taking care of ourselves or giving ourselves permission to rest. Like, what a great, great thing. How about you, Joy? What is one thing that you would like to tell your younger self about balance?
You don't have to say yes to everything.
Oh,
Your
yes.
best, use your best yes. No is also an answer.
100%.
And I think as women, as business owners, and as parents, we get into a comfortable state that we just say yes to everything. Yeah, we want to do that. We want to do that. We want to do that. And it goes back to what you were saying about your children. Just mom can do it all. But is mom supposed to do it all the time? Are we as business professionals supposed to do it all the time? And I think that's really like the assessment. Do we take that self-assessment and say, is this going to be healthy for me? Is it going to be healthy for my business? Is it going to be healthy for my family? And then do we give a yes or a no?
Yeah, so true. So true. Damien, how about you?
Plan accordingly.
What do you mean?
A lot of times when you're young, they say they make their own comment like a lot of stuff is wasted on the youth. Planning accordingly means that you have to plan for the long game. As being younger, it was a lot about running and doing things and really no direction for the long term, and not thinking about what the end goal is going to be like. All right, how do I make this time for my family? How do I make this time for work? How do I make this time for hobbies? How do I make this for health and fitness to balance it out? It's more so in the moment and being able to have this level of being invincible that you're just doing and you're living off of God-given ability and just general health. But in the long run, all of that stuff catches up to you. So plan accordingly.
I like that. Yeah. That's good. There's so many of these pieces that I agree. I wish I would have told my younger self all of these pieces. And a lot of them didn't really develop for me until later, which I think is why it's super important for people to come to the Work-Life Balance Summit. As I had said before, when I met all of you together combined, my life improved. I had, new things to think about. I had new processes to try in my life. And so I think about, my younger self. And I really want to say the phrase of like, don't sweat the small stuff, Tanya. I think about the things that I spent so much time worrying about, fretting about, worrying about perfection, and just like, don't sweat it. It's really going to all turn out okay. And, I don't think that I let go of control for a very long time, of those things, plan, move forward, but something doesn't go exactly right. Just kind of don't sweat it. It's going to be okay.
I like that.
Yeah, I want to take a minute and thank everybody in the audience. Leslie Flowers for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. She's also a presenter. We'll show her image here shortly when we pull up the sessions that we have. Chiedza, thank you so much for joining us. So glad to see you and be back in touch with you. It's awesome to be a part of this. And Jackie Hallberg, wonderful to see you again tonight. Hope you're doing well. Nick, thank you for joining as well. And I love hers. If it's not on fire, it can wait until tomorrow. Yes, right? Every stitch of laundry doesn't have to be done on Sunday. I could go on and on. Could you tell what I've learned? And hello, Christy. Thank you for joining us tonight as well. We appreciate your support always. MD, thanks for coming. Mahendra, thank you for being here as well. And that is all of the names that I see on my end, as well as Kinga. So thank you so much for being such great supporters and so kind to us. We appreciate you.
And I saw Christy out there as well.
Yes, and
All
Christy.
right. So what inspires you to focus on work-life balance?
I'm laughing because who wants to feel like their hair's on fire and the world is collapsing around them, right? I don't know. That's just what came to my mind, right?
How about you, Brenda Lise? What inspires you to focus on your work-life balance?
I like to define it as more harmony than balance, because I know that work life, but there's the balance will always incline into whatever is the priority at the moment. Sometimes the priority is the workshops that I need to conduct to help my clients and drive volume for the business, but sometimes it is just stepping out and spending time with my daughter when she needs me the most. So it's about recognizing where it is that I need to drive my attention and be fully focused on that. I recently did that last week, where I think it's been the longest I have been completely disconnected from the business, 4 days. And it felt so great. Like, I went shopping, I had breakfast with my daughter. It was just, one of the days I just sat in bed binge watching TV. So for me, it's creating that harmony and knowing where do I need to keep the focus and where is my energy needed the most.
Thank you for sharing that. And I hope those 4 days has been relaxing.
Oh, they were incredible.
Deanna, how about you?
I think what inspires me is like I have a tendency towards burnout and overworking. And I'm aware of that. And it's where I lean. I kind of always have. And what I have to do is I have to pay a lot of attention internally to make sure that I'm not pushing myself too far. I had this funny moment once, I can't remember how long ago this has been now, but where I'm a therapist, so I'm listening a lot, and I was watching a documentary on TV and I caught myself saying to the TV. And I thought, oh gosh, Deanna, this is not what you want to be doing. You don't want to be talking to your television. These are the things that concern others. But that's like, like listening to that and paying attention to that, and also paying attention to how well I can engage in the relationships in my life. Am I able to really fully be present in them in the way that I want to be and in the way that the people that I love deserve? Or am I feeling so burnt out that my mind's just floating in too many places? And so those are things that I think about when it comes to finding that balance.
I like that.
That was a great example. That was a great example of a red flag for yourself. Like, hey.
Joy, how about you?
Yeah, there's a lot of inspiration. I think for me is setting goals for the day and understanding, Deanna, I'm a lot like that too. I'll overwork and try to get all of the things done, and releasing that, knowing that, okay, this is my stopping point, and being able to then be present for the people, be present for my children that are in my life after work. And not being present will cause everybody frustration. You didn't get what you needed to get done for work, and then on top of that, you missed the opportunity to be present with those that you love, friends, family, or even just self-care, like in that sense where you're taking care of something that you love, whether it be going to the gym or reading or getting in community. So knowing that there is always tomorrow. Yes, we'll have goals. Yes, we need to have structure. But if we don't get it done because something else happened throughout the day, there's always tomorrow. And so that you can value the relationships that you do have with everybody else, the rest of the afternoon or the rest of the evening, however your schedule is split.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and go. I know you were typing something. I've gained a lot of inspiration, like I've said, from all of you, as well as the other presenters that we've had and presenters in the past, and, things like that. I feel like I'm always learning and growing. But one of the ones that probably ignited my fire early on was probably Brene Brown, and reading her book, Daring Greatly. And she talks about, she does her whole study, basically, it ends up being surrounded around vulnerability. And, I think a lot of times, I should speak for myself, being vulnerable and saying, I need a break, or I need to stop, or I need this in my life, makes me vulnerable, right? Which is hard sometimes to do in front of people, or to admit that I may need something else. And that was very eye-opening for me. So that was a key part in probably, I don't know, probably 2016 or so, somewhere around there, watching that and learning more about that and saying, it's okay to say, I need something else right now. This is not serving me the way it needs to. Like Brenda Lee's saying, I need 4 days off to do and whatever I want, but not work. I just have to go play. I'm going to go shop. I'm going to eat. I'm going to watch TV. I'm just going to roam around the house. I bet she went outside barefoot. She probably wanted to. She's been outside walking around barefoot. Being able to stop and say, this isn't working right now. How about you, Damien?
I think I said it all. Like, Deanna talked about those red flags and, talking to the TV. Brenda talked about taking the 4 days off. And you talked about things not serving you. And I think those things are like so important. And Joy saying, like, I can't get to everything.
Yes.
I think it's okay to not be able to get to everything, to be able to not do things. And, it's kind of go back to what I was saying, like, pacing yourself and understanding like who you are, and for the long term instead of the short term. I think those things are so key and important.
Mm-hmm.
We are at the halfway mark, which is 8:30, and it's flying fast. Do you want to show why we've been gathered here together on the website, the summit, talk a little bit about it and what's going on?
Yes. So when you click that link to the Meet the Presenters, it will show you an image like this when you click the link to purchase tickets. So click the link, everybody. It doesn't mean that you've given your debit card or your credit card, but click the link and check it out. See who is presenting and who is here. And then share this link with a friend and share that with another friend. And so, because I'm sure you have some friends that probably could use coming to the Work-Life Balance Summit. But we are starting the day on Friday, October 3rd. Damien and I are kicking off a welcome, getting everybody ready, get your coffee, come together, say good morning, making sure everybody can get into the system. And then we're kicking it off in the morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Time with Joy Dawson and Felipe. They are two presenters that we have at that time. And then at 10:30, we've got Christina Flores and Thomas Harrington. And then at 11:30, we have Dr. Wanda LeGrand and Brenda Lees. All of these presenters have been on our show, the Meet the Presenters, previously. Also, Joy's obviously here today. Brenda Lees is here today. But the other ones were already on, so you can check out those replays if you want to get to know them a little bit. And you'll find out where some of them also are hanging outside of social media that we're streaming to right now. And then we have a time in the middle of the day, Meet the Presenters. So any of our presenters that are around that can join us, come in, talk to them, get to know them, ask them questions, learn more about them. Then we take a slight little 15-minute break, and we have Sharon Byrne and Deanna Pelly doing their presentations. Then Paul Lapushinsky and Jackie Hallberg are presenting at 2:30. And then Damien is wrapping up this day for us. And then the next day on Saturday. Now, y'all, you can buy a ticket for just Friday. You can buy a ticket just for Saturday as well, if you don't have time to do both of them in your day. But I would recommend getting both, because you get the videos. When you buy both, you get to see the recordings of all of the presentations. If you only buy Friday, you only get to see the presentations for Friday. If you only buy Saturday, you only get the presentations for Saturday. So you have the videos up to 30 days, so you can go back in and check them all out. So we'll join you with some coffee or water, whatever you're drinking that morning at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And then we've got Al from Malaysia joining us and Dr. Mel with their presentation starting at 9:30. And then Leslie Flowers is joining us with, as well as Mary Byrne, who was here last night as well. Leslie was on a night before. And then Lee Forrester and Lisa Fevick are joining us at 11:30. Then we have a networking session. So please come back to that. That's why you want to get the second day, come back and network. You'll network with the audience members. We'll network with the presenters. You'll get to, learn a few more things about what you can do in your life. And then we'll finish up the day with Tanya Collins and Val Danzler. And then I will wrap up the 2-day event talking about boundaries for balance. So I hope you can join us. It is a virtual event. It's on Zoom events. So all you need is, to purchase your ticket and use an email address that you've used from Zoom before. And, you can just come and join us. And it's going to be a great time. The presenters are incredible. They're excited. They are ready to present.
Yes. And the Eventbrite link is right here. And here's the direct link.
Yes. On Event. If you go to Eventbrite, you can get tickets 2 for 1. So there is a special right now on Eventbrite. And if you just search, I think it's online, and then put the date in, it will pop that one up.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think it's my question, isn't it? My turn. All right. So a lot of you, Deanna, you are a therapist. You listen to people all day long, or your TV even, right? So whoever's needing your attention, you're giving it to them. Joy, you're event planning. You're out in the space with people and moving. Brenda Lees, you are an energy coach. You're talking to a lot of people with burnout, whatever they have going on in their life. blocks, all of that sort of thing. So what are some trends that you guys are seeing in the workplace culture around balance today? Some trends, they could be positive trends, they could be negative trends that you're seeing in the workplace that you're noticing. I'll give you a minute to think. When I started the professional work-life balance, I'm in education, have been in education a long time. And there's been a lot of burnout in education, work with a lot of social workers, work with a lot of educators. And so this was the reason I brought this to the forefront, was for people in education and social work to be able to find some resources to help support themselves. What are you seeing, Deanna, or that you're noticing?
I think what I notice, because, as work is often talked about in therapy, even when people come in for depression, anxiety, we always talk about work. And I think it's the same thing that probably many of you see, is that the idea around busyness or doing equals somehow correlates to your value, that your value is in being busy. It's in doing, it's in like this nonstop go, 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 or like meeting this rung on the ladder and then this rung and then this rung. And unfortunately, I think that gets way too intertwined with value and to what Brenda Lees was saying earlier. Rest is so important. And that is actually like, if you know yourself well enough to know you need to rest, that is beautiful, but rest is still often conflated with failure and not doing well enough. And so I think that that's something that I certainly hear as a theme on a regular basis.
Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Something to think about for sure. Joy, how about you?
I see and hear actually quite a bit of underappreciated. So it doesn't necessarily have to be not always negative. It's just the simple words of affirmation that coworkers want to hear. Hey, I really appreciate your ideas. We might not do that this time. However, I appreciate your input. Valuing that people have a voice. And I think a lot of times we're seeing either one side of the spectrum or the other, meaning that there's tons of appreciation and cultures that are adopted that give extra incentives, maybe a rest day like Deanna was talking about, or maybe like not everybody works at a place like Google, right? Where there's a nap facility and there's this facility and there's a balance all around. But the other side of that, meaning it doesn't always have to be a gift card or something of monetary value. It's just an appreciation of words of affirmation that, hey, you're doing a good job today. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for, and just giving some value so that your team has a voice.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Interesting. Brenda Lees, how about you?
Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. So I see, I talk to a lot of people who are burnout, right? Mm-hmm. And when I talk to them, I see a common trend, which is, things will get better. It will get better. It's just temporarily. It's just one project. When budget season passes by, everything will get back to normal. But it never does unless they take the action that they need to take. And that's like, I think one of the biggest myths that actually people live through, it's that, when they change their job, I'm getting a new job. When I change the new job, when I change the boss, when I change the company, things will change. If you don't change what needs to change within you, your external world is going to continue to be a reflection of it. And I'm not pointing fingers saying that everything is our fault. There are toxic work environments out there, but it's still your choice if you remain there or not.
Yes.
So we are the ones in full control.
Yes. Yes. I love all of these combinations here of the workplace, kind of vibe that you've picked up on from your clients or your experiences or the people that you're working with. Definitely. Damien, how about you? Do you have anything you would like to add to that piece?
I think the biggest thing that I think the biggest trend that I'm seeing in the workplace is time. Personal time off. People taking more time to spend with their families, to do activities and stuff, like even down to health and fitness and going to the doctor. People are utilizing those things more. That I'm seeing trends in the workplace. Even people coming in having conversations around medical, health, fitness, life, like work-life balance, lifestyle, and having more work groups that are going on. When I first started in my career, there wasn't that many work groups. Now I see there's a work group for wellness, employee appreciation, and you have different other groups, that the affinity groups that are out there for people and individuals that they can collaborate and come together on, and also kind of team up, and even quality assurance as well. So those things create a level of trends for healthy work-life balance, and even people saying, "Hey, you know what? You haven't had a day off. What are you gonna do?" Or have a conversation around, "What did you do this weekend?" Instead of just diving into the work level. So
yeah. I went to dinner last night, y'all, with some lady friends that I have taught with, or had, I always say I taught with, because I did teach with them. I'm not a teacher anymore, but I taught with them probably 28 years ago. We started teaching together, and we're all still educators in a sense of one way, shape, or form, but we all need something different for our work-life balance. One of our teachers moved to middle school. The other one moved into the technology space with education. One of them moved to a private school. That's what she needed. I moved to a virtual school, and I talked to them about my experience and kind of try to like, "Oh, you might like this, come," but that's not what they want. I don't want to go where they are. You know what I mean? I don't want to do what they're doing. And I think that's also something that's okay, that's not always talked about in the workspace, is that, we all have different views of what works for us, or what we enjoy, and where we're at. And so what one wants isn't always going to be perfect for the next person. And so that's okay too. And just like, Brenda Lee's was saying, if it's not what you like, you should go find something else. Like, go find something else that you like, that really works for your space, and working inside too. Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked about those one things that inspired you. We talked about those trends. We had a conversation around what is your guilty pleasure. So the next question we want to ask is, as a presenter, how do you gear yourself up and prepare yourself to do a presentation? So what are some of the things that go on in your head and your mind? Because everybody here has their own unique title for the summit, right? So what goes into your process of saying, "Hey, I want to pick this topic and I'm going to get ready"? And while y'all think about it, I'll go first. So one of the things that comes to mind is, okay, do I know this material? How close is it to me as a person? And can I convey it clearly to the people around me if everything goes wrong? So, like, that people talk about the fire. So if there's a fire happening, can I convey this information and material clearly when everything around me is going left and right? And a lot of times I try to take from what I'm hearing from the people around me and what they're talking about. So when we talk about like the trends that are going on, and what we're seeing in the last 10 years, 15 years around work-life balance, is this something that I can relate to? Is this something that I can have value to? And is this something that people around me actually can benefit from? So that's me. What about you? What's your process, and how do you pick the topics you want to talk about?
I go back to the things that I know, like that are like really recent, right? So I remember when I first sent the topic, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was about burnout or something like that. When I first, it was because that was the topic that was very relevant to me. But as things shifted in my business and I started to bring other concepts, talk about different things, talk about breaking that ceiling that keeps us stuck, I'm like, no, you know what? I need to change it. And because this is who I am right now. So I need to feel I'm embodying the topic completely. And I think you said a really great point. If, let's say, you cannot, for whatever reason, have access to the technology and the technology is not working properly, how can you still have a conversation with a group of people without any backup material? So choose a topic that actually feels comfortable, at least for these type of conversations, right? So that if that does happen, you can actually just talk to the audience, have a conversation. And then I prepare, like, I tend to leave things always for the last minute. I'm going to be really honest here. So I tend to um, procrastinate a little bit. I like the energy that it brings forward, the procrastination, because at that very last moment I cannot change my story. I'm just laser focused and I can create whatever I need to create. Um, but it's making sure that it feels comfortable, I think, at the end of the day. And yeah, you might change certain things, you might deviate a little bit from the title, but you have to feel that the topic is, and what you're talking about is truly authentic to who you are.
I like that 100%, Brenda Lisa, and I definitely can relate to it. Because me as a person, if you go on there, my topic isn't even up, and we have 45 minutes to present a topic, and I have about 5 different topics that I actually want to talk about on this particular topic of work-life balance, and I don't want them to intertwine, and it sounds like 30 different versions of a whole bunch of things, and it sounds like nothing. And I think I just narrowed it down to what I'm exactly going to talk about for work-life balance. So I think this conference, thank you so much, all of y'all, because today has made me narrow down exactly what I want to talk about. So don't feel bad that you wait till the last minute. Sometimes your best thoughts and inspiration come at the last hour. Joy, how about you?
There's a lot of preparation. I think you have to believe in something before you expect your audience to believe in it. But for me, my preparation is not just knowing the topic, is prayer, is personal preparation, is allowing. Sometimes it does switch. You could be so well prepared, but for me, the Holy Spirit might tell me that I need to speak to something else for the audience in which I'm going to deliver. So that's really being sensitive to knowing your material, but allowing flexibility and reading the room when you are there. If they're stuck on a specific part of your talking, stay there and work through it, because that might be the very thing that your audience needs to connect with. So for me, it's really prayer, it's preparation, not focusing on what is being delivered as much as knowing that I believe in it. Whatever I do speak of, that I am implying that to my own life.
I like that. So you're basically going in there presenting, but you're also like being a participant at the same time. I like that, and you're holding the space to have those conversations and not move on because it's just the sake of your presentation says move on, so you can adjust because your audience needs to live in that kind of space, and this is what needs to happen. So I like that. Deanna, how about you? Because I know you do a lot of that as well. Oh, go ahead, Joy.
I was just going to say that we have to sometimes sit in the hard conversations or the the most that don't move on. That's the only way that we'll grow. So sitting in that pause or sitting in that understanding or in that learning space allows growth, not only for me, but for the people that are coming to get value as well.
Thank you. Deanna.
Yeah. So for the topics that I wind up presenting on, they're ones that are often the inspiration is derived from my clinical practice in some way, shape, or form. Again, like kind of themes I'm hearing from people, ways different things emerge amongst a number of different individuals, and that a lot of times will drive a topic choice, and it's something that inevitably I feel excited about, because it's not fun to talk about something I'm bored with. But as far as preparation goes, the thing that actually feels most awkward to me, but is almost unanimously the most helpful, is for me to present out loud to myself over Zoom or in the mirror. Inevitably, that tells me where I'm getting choked up on my words and where they don't sound quite as amazing as I wish they would. So that helps me the most.
Got it. I think that's a real good tip. I guess you can perform if you have the conversation with yourself. I guess other people might be easier. They say sometimes we are our own biggest critic. How about you,
Yes.
Dr.
Yes. Well, I with these events that we create, I wait to see what everyone else's topics are, and then I create mine, kind of like you, Damien. I'm looking at I've had mine up here for a while since the topics have all come in, looking to fill some gaps. So I'll do that for sure with something that I know well, and mine is boundaries for balance. And that is something that I know very well, that I, speak about. It's in my book for Raising the Well-Adjusted Child to Parents Manual. I do presentations on it. So it's something that I do a lot, but also to prepare for it. So I've been hosting some audio rooms talking about the topic in other spaces. That helps me, engage an audience, to learn more from other people of areas for them to set boundaries that I'm learning from them that I can bring into this. And so all of those pieces I think are important. It's kind of like Deanna was saying with, talking it out loud. And I talk and I make some little notes, on a piece of paper, like I want to make sure I have this done and I have this done. I am a little bit more last minute-er on actually getting like something on paper, but I have a lot of little notes ready to go. So really, when I really sit down and do whatever I'm finalizing, it is literally under an hour. Like I am so ready to go. Boom, it's up there. It's probably more than what needs to be done, because I really want a conversation to drive the presentation with other people. So have to practice it, think about it, write some little notes. And if technology fails, you've got notes, you've got a list. You got a list here of the topics that you can go back to. And, like they all said, if you know it and you're engaging your audience, that 45 minutes is going to fly by.
It does go really quick.
It does.
Even this hour is going really quick.
I know.
And I think, let me know if you can relate to. I think as presenters that we think sometimes that we're like, not to say like we're holding off or we're going to the last minute or waiting to the the final hour, but we do a lot of, to kind of go back to what Deanna was saying, talking to the TV. We do a lot of kind of talking to ourselves about our topics organically. It comes to our head. We start brainstorming. We try to put pieces together. We kind of start writing the scripts in our head. And by the time we get to the paper and or the laptop or the computer and putting it together, we've put together a very, very good outline. When you go to school in the beginning, they like, write the outline. I think we've all been mentally conditioned as presenters, if you do it long enough, that you're writing the outline in your head. You're writing it on your phone real quick. You're jotting stuff down, and you're finding inspiration to put it all together to be one big presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can relate to that?
Yes. Anybody else relate to that? You got some head nodding going on.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well, and for those of you that are listening, not all of our presenters are present in this manner. Damien and I spend time with our presenters also, meeting with them and helping them, shape their presentation or practice it with us. They work on their timing, things like that, so that they're really ready for an amazing event for you all. So we have 22 presenters. I don't know, 25, 24, 25 sessions. It's going to be a great 2 days. It's going to be really good. Super great. So we're excited for it to get off the ground. All right, let's do one last little question here. What do you hope that your attendees will take away from your session at the summit? Without giving away the farm, what do you want them to take away from your session? Damien, I'm going to go with you first. Let these ladies think.
I want you to take away that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the end looks different for everyone. And we all have to do some level of preparation, and we're already doing it. You said don't give it away.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Thanks.
Perfect. Who else is ready?
Try to be as vague as possible.
I like it. That's all right. Joy?
Yes, I want them to take away they can, they will, and impact will be made.
Love that. Okay, if that's not enticing, very nice. They can, they will, and impact will be made. Nice. Deanna?
I think what I'd want people to take away most strongly is that the answers are within you. Kind of like what you were saying earlier, Tanya, about, your friends suggesting things like the shoe that fits one pinches another. You gotta find what's in you and lead that way.
Oh, I love that analogy. That's awesome. The shoe that fits one pinches another. I like that. I've never heard that before. Brenda Lees, how about you?
That befriending your unconscious mind is easier than what people think.
Ah, that's pretty deep, right? That's pretty deep. I like that. You're going to go deep with them.
I'm going to go deep. I have a surprise.
Ooh, I can't wait. Right on. Nice. Well, I am hoping not just from my presentation, but from everyone's presentation that all the attendees and presenters that are watching each other's presentations, they can take one thing away from everyone, at least one little thing away, and figure out how they can mold it into their life to really, get them where they want their life to be, where they want their balance to be, what they can do to help improve that in their own life. And so that's on my heart. Like that's how, truly the reason behind this whole thing. So yeah, really incredible. And I'm excited, and I appreciate you ladies all and Damien for being with us for this evening, for this event, for taking time to plan and prepare your presentations. I know it takes effort, and we're excited to have you all with us.
And please click the link, go to the website, get the information, see all these amazing presenters, what they're presenting on. Go in, check out their YouTube pages, their businesses, connect with them on social media, LinkedIn. Click on the site to go to on Creative Living Ideas website as well, and the Work-Life Balance Summit, and go there and see how I already updated and put what my presentation is actually on. Because if you started the show earlier and went on the website, it did not have what I'm presenting on. Now it has exactly what I'm presenting on. So go in and see exactly what I'm going to present on.
You are cracking me up.
The magic happens live.
I love it. That's awesome.
All right. So we're at the hour. we have finished 5 days of Meet the Presenter. Thank you all for joining us and coming, but do not leave because we have the reel of all these amazing presenters as well. And check out the website, which is on the bottom, and click the link. And we will see you all again Sunday, which will be our last stretch for our summit. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.